to the November 17th Board of Township Trustees meeting. Do I have a motion to return to open session?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes. With that, would you join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Well, welcome, everybody. It's nice to see some faces in the crowd. A lot of times we're talking to nobody, so thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you here. I usually like to ask scouts to come lead us in the pledge, so I'm sorry for that. I blame Steve. It's his fault at the end. I blame him solely, and it's his fault. So if you need to take a demerit badge and take it away from him, you have my permission.
We can do it again.
Yeah, would you come on up here?
Yeah, come on.
Would you mind?
We'll do it again. It's
we do it
America.
again?
We can do it again.
Wherever you want to go. You want to stay there? You want to do that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, young man.
Thank you.
Show me that salute again. I forgot. It's been too long. That's it. I forget how long ago it was.
If ever.
Move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes. Okay. Presentations and recognitions. Somebody moved my seat down. Josh, did you do that?
Did you?
All right, good evening. We have one presentation, well, actually two, count them both. Jeff and Kim Weber are here with us this evening. For those of you that don't know, Jeff is a firefighter paramedic and a sheriff's deputy with the township. Known Jeff and Kim for a number of years, and I'm pleased to give you a little bit of information about what they have accomplished. Jeff and Kim are both involved in the Shotokan Karate. It's a traditional Japanese martial art involving the practice of fundamentals while exhibiting extreme control and focus. Shotokan has many, many benefits. It helps to develop patience, courage, self-confidence, self-control, strength, flexibility, calmness, and concentration, and it reduces negative or violent attitudes. Kim and Jeff have competed on the local, national, and international stage. In addition to competition, they are also judges. They own their own studio, Shotokan Karate of Anderson. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what they did on the world stage, because if I covered everything they've won, we'd be here for quite some time. So in 2012, Kim competed in the Philippines. She won a gold medal in women's kumite, which is sparring, a gold medal in both the women's kata and kumite team events. In 2014 in Mexico, Kim won the gold medal in women's team kata, and Jeff won a silver medal in men's team kata. In 2016 in South Africa, Kim medaled silver in women's kata and bronze in kumite, and Jeff won a gold medal in team kata and silver medal in team kumite. Last week, Jeff and Kim also earned their 6th degree black belt. So with that, I would ask that Jeff and Kim come up, and Trustee Stone is going to present you with a certificate.
Someone capturing the moment? Yes. All right, thank you. Sorry for the... Can I ask you a favor? Could you demonstrate some violent move on Mr. Girth here while we're at the meeting? Possible? Pretend like he's coming at you with something dangerous.
You missed the part. You
Congratulations.
missed the part about violence and negative.
As long as he attacks you properly, okay. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. It's great.
That's great. It's wonderful. Okay, now we'll slip over to the public forum. Individuals who wish to address the board should make non-repetitive points as clearly and concisely as possible, limiting their comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Speakers are asked to state their name and address for the record. So if anyone has anything to address the board or has a comment or question about anything at all, please come forward. Maybe you were on Beachmont Avenue and have a comment or question about the traffic that was out there tonight?
You're on Beachmont,
You're still there.
That's why nobody's here.
That's right, everyone's on Beachmont. All right. With that, we'll go to trustee comments. Dee?
No, I'm good.
Josh?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
I would like to just say that, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and just remind people that may be watching that I've been assured that we are approaching the last 2 days of traffic stoppage on Beachmont, or that's what I've heard. Is that correct? I thought we did.
Well, that's not safe.
The last 2 planned days for this year.
Okay. So,
Fair enough statement, Mr. Chairman? Yes.
did we have a video to
We'll be
demonstrate?
back again in the spring.
Did we have a video lined up to demonstrate the traffic, Beachmont, the new intersection?
I think
thought-
we do have it.
I thought we had a video. Is that correct?
Informational video.
Like, I don't think there's sound, but I think you can get the hint of what we're going for.
There's no sound?
I'm pretty sure.
That wasn't it.
That's not it. That's not it. I thought we had a video. Oh, that's old.
I'm afraid of what I might back up into.
Oh, for God's sakes. I'm sorry for the technical difficulty, but I don't think that's it. No, that's not it. Well, anyway.
Well, you can't hear it anyway, so use your imagination.
But anyway, basically, we were going to try to give a, there we go. Oh, this is it. I think that's it.
That's it.
Hopefully, when the CFI is done, you'll see a demonstration here of the continuous flow.
But you really need the sound, though, to make
You need the sound, but, basically, it's just that I think they're there for days. I'm not sure. I've been in that intersection, actually, and it is quite dangerous. But we're hopeful that this will be a much needed improvement to that intersection, and everything will turn out fine. And I'm glad that the construction is finally coming to an end, because like you guys, I'm on Beachmont all the time, and it's frustrating. And so I'm glad that the citizens have indulged us with their patience, and I couldn't be any happier. He keeps trying to get over.
You'll also note he is following the lane markings. He's not driving from above. I know a lot of people freak out when they look at the picture of this from above. It's not as complex when you just follow the lane markings.
Just stay in your lane.
stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
He just can't get
Well,
over.
Be good.
So with that, we'll close.
Big Ben, pardon me.
And also, I'd like to also thank all the, I know we're going to have that in a different section. I thought we were. I'd like to simply thank everybody that worked, staff and everybody else that worked on behalf of getting information out. We did have some issues on the ballot regarding public safety levy, and I think that getting the information out to the residents and having them have all the information so that they could make an informed vote was key to the turnout and the result of the election. So I'd like to thank the residents of the township for passing that and allowing us to have the tools to keep the township as safe as possible. And that the election, I think, went smoothly here in Anderson Township. I didn't hear any hiccups. Everything went well. So I'd like to thank everybody involved in that as well. Okay, with that, we'll close trustee comments and go to Fiscal Officer Ken Dietz.
Thank you. The end of October reports are available. Actually, our revenues are slightly above what we predicted for the end of the year. However, I would say that most of the revenues are in. It looks like we're going to come in like 1 or 2% above what we had anticipated. Expenses are down. We do have expenses that occur in November and December to catch up and use up our encumbrances. So, but as anticipated, they will come in 5 to 10% under what we had anticipated. So we're looking good there. Hopefully that will continue to the end of the year, and I think it will.
Good.
I do have some appropriation changes, as we usually have in November. couple things have come up toward the end of the year where we'd like to take $370,000 out of our public safety sheriff's contract, which we do not intend to use because we've taken most of that money out of the sheriff's contract in their own fund, which is 09 for us. The Economic Development Incentive Town Center Way is something that we had not budgeted for, but we have anticipated it. We'd like to take care of that this year for $110,000 added to that. We did decide that that is something we wanted to do in the past. The fire and rescue equipment radios was something that was planned on for 2017. We were able to save $58,000 due to several circumstances if we would purchase those this year, and we believe that's a wise decision. And Beachmont Avenue improvements, Anderson downtown, to the tune of $180,000. We'd like to pay for that this year. We will be reimbursed 80% of that money in 2017, so we think that's also a win situation. So I would need your approval on those three increases, taking money from the public safety sheriff's contract.
Do I have a motion? I would move to adopt the changes presented by Fiscal Officer Ken Dietz.
Second?
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
Margaret?
I have no action items for the board.
I just love it when the law director has no action items. Paul? Hi, Paul.
There's only one item under our department for this evening, and that is a request before you to initiate the adoption process for our comprehensive plan update, which is this document here. As you know, our department and the township has been working on this since March. We had a steering team that met over 4 times over the course of the spring and the summer, wrapped it up in the fall. We had a public meeting, a large public meeting in June to review and solicit input from our residents and business owners. A draft was prepared in October, and we had an open house to also collect input on the draft, and the draft was up for review on our website until the end of October. So currently, our planning consultant is making final tweaks and primarily doing edits to the pictures and tables and making it look pretty for the adoption draft. But as far as the adoption process, it starts with the initiation from the trustees. The first review, and all these are public hearings, is through our zoning commission, which if the trustees initiate the process tonight, would hear it in December. Then it would come back before you in January for a public hearing and comment, and then finally going to Hamilton County Regional Planning Commission. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any questions. Do you have a motion?
Yeah, I move to initiate the adoption process for the Anderson Township Comprehensive Plan update.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you.
This, I do have one comment, though. This was, how many people were at that? We had a couple of meetings in the other
So
room.
our first What's Next meeting in June, we had about 130 in
So just so
attendance.
everyone knows, we had a lot of people show up.
We had a lot of people show up. We had a steering committee of about 35 that met regularly, and the role of the steering committee as well was to spread the word and solicit input to their networks into the township, which worked very well, I think. And we had an open house, and then we also did an online survey, and surprisingly, we received more input online than traditionally that we have in the past. So between our public meetings and the online survey and opportunity for input, we're very proud of the outreach that we had this time.
Yeah, it's just, I want, everyone to be aware that, the public is involved in this, and we've had I remember that room was full, and they had ideas on the boards, and everyone was having great input, so I just want people to realize that we did have a lot of input on this.
Yes.
Thank you, Paul.
And Paul's,
When will Duke be burying the power lines?
Yeah.
at Beachmont Avenue?
It's in the long
That was
range
in there.
plan.
In the really long range.
Really
no,
long range plan.
I just want to thank Paul because he's worked really, really hard on this. and it shows. And I would encourage people to read it. It's actually a really well-written document, and it kind of gives you an idea of what the big picture is for this township. So please do read it. There a lot of work went into it.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Lieutenant Matt Guy? Did some nice visitors at your...
Yeah.
It was very nice. In case everyone missed it on Facebook, Jeff Ruby dropped off how many?
38, so for the 35 officers plus 3 detectives that work out of our district.
I appreciate the invite, but it was very nice.
It was very
and,
nice.
whenever we have a resident or a citizen that steps up and does something nice like that, I think they should be acknowledged.
They called about 3 or 4 weeks ago and expressed interest in doing this. They did it for City of Montgomery and Cincinnati Police last year. This year, they're going to do it for the Anderson District as well as Louisville Metro and Nashville Police, where they have restaurants as well. So, yeah.
Oh, so you knew about it, and I still didn't get the invite. Interesting. Okay.
Consult with the township administrator about it.
Well, you know where
That was very generous.
was very generous and well kept. Mr. Shelley?
Unless the board has something, otherwise I'm just really happy to be here.
Do we... Does anyone have anything for Richard?
Not
No.
right now.
You do...
Announce our
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I will announce that. Mr. Shelley and I, in case you haven't noticed, I bet people probably can't see this, but we had the distinction, Anderson Township had the distinction
yeah.
of
Is
that
winning...
kryptonite?
It is kryptonite. The best township recycling rate was awarded to Anderson Township by Hamilton County Solid Waste District. So thank you to the residents here for making us look great, and it was a really nice honor to get that. So Mr. Shelley and I went and received this award. Was that Tuesday? Yes. It was very nice. Are we prepared for the incoming white death this weekend that I hear might be coming? Not overly concerned. Only in Ohio would it go from 70 degrees to snow in a day, but it's all right.
It's heavy.
Fire and rescue. Rick.
Did you see this? It's heavy.
Good evening. The only thing that we did have to come before you was the sale of some flashlights. Turns out those flashlights were purchased via our auction process, so there's nothing from the fire department this evening. Unless
Okay.
anybody has any questions for me?
No,
Okay,
thank
thank you.
you. So we don't have to do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Vicki, Township Administrator Vicki Earhart.
Mr. Severs has the first item.
Putting this together. We want to just take a minute, and there was mention, of course, just a moment ago of the Township's Recycling Award and the many changes that are going on in our community. I think it's important to note a couple things with this. One is that changes that are occurring in our community are being noticed across our region and are bringing a lot of attention to this area. And as a result of that, we've had a number of opportunities where staff has presented on these and other accomplishments, other projects, other programs. And we look across the management team level, you look through our departments, you'll see that each of these folks has been involved in those. And it really puts the township in a very favorable light. It also puts the board in this community in a very favorable light for those looking to invest in our area. Examples of this include presentations to real estate roundtable groups, county and regional agencies, statewide organizations, you name it. I think over the last couple of years, staff's been involved in those and has really put our best foot forward to help note the accomplishments that we've had. The second part of that is the role of staff in various groups and organizations. I don't know, Ms. Earhart, if you wanted to touch on that.
Yes, and we do very much appreciate the board's support of these activities because while some of our staff involvement, particularly the management team involved in regional, county, or statewide programs or different committees or groups, it does pay benefits to the township. We realize it does take additional time for staff to complete these activities, but the board has been very supportive, and the board has also been active in different statewide organizations, whether it's the Ohio Township Association, We have members involved in OKI, Regional Council of Governments, the Hamilton County Planning Partnership, Southwest Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, and the National Association of Public Works. So we do appreciate it. I can't say enough about staff that they are able to participate in these regional and statewide entities, bring back information to us, represent the township well. We are known, Anderson Township is known throughout the state, and it's because of the outreach that we have been able to provide and the information we've been able to bring back to make us better every day. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaking of one of those statewide groups, the Coalition of Large Ohio Urban Townships is a committee of the Ohio Township Association. We report directly to the Board of Directors. The township has been a member since the inception of this group in 1994. Membership is $200 per year, and membership is due for renewal. So I'm asking the board to renew the membership for 2017. I can tell you that the coalition is currently working on developing a list of legislative priorities for the 132nd General Assembly. We are having a legislative reception in Columbus in January, where we expect over 70 members of the legislature to attend, in addition to township representatives from over 50 of the large and urban townships in the state of Ohio. Some of the items, we've got 21 legislative priorities right now. Some of the ones that are most pertinent or most pressing are finalizing protection of revenue streams. We continue to have revenue streams removed from townships, whether it's estate tax, tangible personal property tax, electric dereg, and we have very few tools outside of property tax revenue to stay up and running, and I know that's a priority of this board to find those other revenue sources so we don't continue to increase taxes in the township. So that is high on the coalition's priority list. We're also looking to get authority to regulate placement of cell towers and to require buffers and to require notification of townships and residents when those cell towers are going in. We're also looking at improving the visibility of townships. You will notice that villages that have a population of 5,000 or less, or cities, have the ability to have their name displayed on highway signage. Townships are not designated as a place by the federal government, so we do not have the authority to do that. Hence 5 Mile Road instead of Anderson Township exit here. So that is also a priority for clout. Like I said, we have about 21 priorities this year that we're going to be focused on, and you will be getting a list of those shortly. We've also submitted our first full report to the OTA Board of Directors. The OTA Board meets tomorrow in Columbus, and we are anxious to get back information from them about the organization that we will also share with our members. So there is a motion before you that would renew Anderson Township's membership for 2017. I would ask for your action on that.
I would move to authorize membership in the Coalition of Large Ohio Urban Townships, a subcommittee of the OTA for the year 2017 in an amount not to exceed $200.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, too, that this is,
Money well
this is
spent.
probably the biggest value.
For $200?
And because, and this is what a lot of residents and people don't realize, is that we are fighting to exist as townships, and what makes township government great, what makes townships great, is being threatened in a lot of different ways. And the fact that we have this group, Clout, and the larger OTA fighting for the protection of some of the things that make us great is great. And the fact that Vicki is now president of that organization is, again, another feather in Anderson Township's cap. There's a list, there's a report in here that you guys that can't see, although you're welcome to it because it's a public record, but there's a list of 6 staff members, Vicki Earhart, Suzanne Parker, Steve Sievers, Paul Drury, Mark Ober, Richard Shelley, all who are members of at least 4 or 5 at a minimum organizations that represent this township. And that is in addition to what Steve had mentioned earlier about speaking in front of groups where this year alone, just locally, we're in crowds of more than 1,000 people. All those things this staff does above and beyond what they're supposed to do, and it makes our job of the board here a little easier when it comes to supporting what you do, because we know how important it is. So this is a thank you to you and everybody sitting at that table, and I want to make sure that the residents know that this stuff is very important. So thank you for bringing it up.
Thank you very much.
And I second everything Josh just said.
Thank you.
Aw.
Thank you. The next item that we have to bring before the board, this is another measure that was passed by the voters this past week or so, and it would establish an electric aggregation program for the township. To move this forward, we would need board authorization to designate a broker. The board had designated Energy Alliances as the broker to provide information to the residents while this was on the ballot. Now that it is passed, the board would need to establish a broker to carry forward the plan, which includes drafting a plan of operations and governance. There will be 2 public hearings. There will also be an application submitted to the PUCO and notices to eligible customers before this can move forward. It's a 3 to 4 month process, and staff recommend that Energy Alliances be selected as the broker. There is a resolution before you.
I move to authorize the Township Administrator to engage the services of Energy Alliance in connection with the establishment of an electric aggregation program for the township and the provision of aggregation brokerage services, and to enter into agreement with respect thereto.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes. Looking forward
Thank
to
you.
saving some money.
Lieutenant Guy did mention our ethics policy. The township and all entities are required to abide by the Ohio Revised Code and the Ohio Ethics Commission rules and regulations. But a number of years ago, in fact in 2013, township employees got together and formed a committee, and we decided that we wanted to take it a little bit further. So the committee that was comprised of rank and file members from each department. This was not managers. This was rank and file members. We had a firefighter, we had clerical people, we had road maintenance employees. Got together and developed a policy that took it a little bit further to say this is who we are. We want to make sure that we're acting in an ethical manner at all times. We want to abide by the ethics policy of the state, but also this additional development that we had for ourselves, or this expectation that we built for ourselves. Part of that group was also to develop an ethics panel of peers, so that if one of our employees had an ethical question or an ethical dilemma, instead of being concerned about going to a supervisor or having to come to township administration, it provides them a way to ask questions through their peers through this panel. We've had a number of employees who have served on this panel for several years, one of which was Libra Schmidt, representing the fiscal office. Libra is going to step down this year, and so we have a motion before you that would select Debbie Hucker in her place representing the fiscal office, Becky Campbell for Public Works, and Jim Lewis would continue on for Planning and Zoning. There's a motion before you, and I would ask for your consideration.
I move to appoint Becky Campbell, Public Works, Jim Lewis, Planning and Zoning, and Debbie Hucker, Fiscal Office, to the Anderson Township Ethics Panel for 2-year terms beginning January 1st, 2017, and ending December 31st, 2018. The board further recognizes that Douglas Egan, Fire and Rescue, and Betty Cowan, Administration, will continue their terms of service on the Anderson Township Ethics Panel until December 31st, 2017.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you very much. That's all we have this evening.
Thank you. And before we close it down here tonight, I'd like everyone to know, Steve, this is the new improved website. It looks great. Notice we'll be closed on the 24th, so if you call, no one will answer the phones. So don't be surprised by that. You can call, just don't be surprised if nobody answers. and I think it looks great. I'd like to remind everybody that our next regular monthly board meeting is December 15th, 2016, 6 p.m. Citizens should call 688-8400 to confirm. With that, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Mrs. Stone?
yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Congratulations. I'm sorry she mispronounced karate.